What's up guys, my name is Julian, your solar expert, and today I'm going to be going through the top 3 most recognizable brands that when people are entering the solar buying process and they're getting quotes, I would say that probably 90% of Americans get a quote from at least one of these 3 companies, and I would probably say that a lot of people maybe get quotes from a couple of them. So everyone's trying to appear like they're the full package and they're the best, and these 3 companies offer very different things with different value propositions, and so I'm going to be giving just a summary breakdown of really what these 3 companies even really do in the industry and help you kind of understand, what it all means when you're researching this stuff, because honestly, finding this stuff online and really understanding this just from what's based on the internet is really difficult, and it kind of takes a human being to break it down, for another human being. So first off, going solar requires a lot of stuff to happen before it actually gets on your roof and is working. You have to have manufacturers actually make the products, people that are doing the plans and the permits, you have the city involved, consulting and the sales and the marketing departments for all these companies, because if they can't make sales, then they are not going to exist. And so you have all these different parts of the whole equation, and not all these companies do all those different things. And so let's kind of just give a breakdown and real fast before I get too involved with the video and I totally forget, if you find this video helpful, I do work in over 30 states, and so if you're in any of these green states and you want help going solar, give me a call. I'm here to help you out. All right, let's start with Tesla Energy. What is Tesla Energy? Well, at the end of the day, Tesla, they're mainly a manufacturer. They do install their own systems, but that's because they acquired Solar City several years ago when Solar City was basically going under and Elon was trying to save it and turn it around. But still to this day, the installation sector of their company has never been profitable, and it's actually been losing money. And so Tesla is currently, as I speak and make this video, slowly shutting market by market down in terms of actually offering the installation part of the job to customers directly. They're trying to just focus on the manufacturing, which really that's what they're good at. That's what Elon knows how to do. And the Powerwall 3, which is their new battery product, I think it's a really good product. And that's what they need to focus on is getting the Powerwall 3 to everyone versus trying to undercut everyone else and install for basically a loss, which the shareholders of Tesla are not liking because they're sucking money out of Tesla Motors to do it. And so Tesla, mainly a manufacturer. Sunrun, they don't manufacture anything. They don't make solar panels, batteries, inverters, any of that. Basically what Sunrun is they're the most aggressively fastest growing and largest solar installation company in the US. They do that mostly with door knocking teams, and their sales pitch is mostly for power purchase agreements, and that is where it's like a 25-year service agreement and you're not technically buying the system, but there's a lot of hidden clauses in there and a lot of junk that they don't go into when they're selling you the system. So if you're looking at a PPA through any company, not even just Sunrun, give me a call, and I want to make sure that you understand some of the negatives to it, because usually financing is oftentimes better for most people, even though the picture that the Sunrun salesperson paints is not. So they actually are pretty much required to sell mostly all PPAs for the most part. But that's what Sunrun wants you to do, and that's really their value proposition is, hey, we have something where you don't have to go into debt, and they're going to let the whole world know they've probably knocked on your door at the end of the day, or maybe that's what got this whole thing started, is someone knocked on your door. SunPower. So SunPower, for a long time, they were the OGs of solar. They were putting more money into R&D, and they were manufacturing these full systems, and that was great. They really paved the way for this technology to get good and ready for everyday homeowners to actually adopt and put on their home. And you got to love SunPower for that. I don't dislike SunPower, except if you look at SunPower today versus the explanation of what I just gave about SunPower, you're looking at 2 different companies, because SunPower over the years has just slowly outsourced part by part every single part of the system, to the point where now they still go around saying that they make everything and it's all under one roof, and they literally don't even make anything. They don't make the panels, they don't make the inverters, they just discontinued their battery product. And so SunPower is really relying on previous brand recognition and the previous work that they did in the past. But unfortunately, what they're selling today is not at all what they're actually describing. You can go get Maxion panels now separately. They're not connected to SunPower anymore. The Enphase microinverters, they're using the seventh generation still. There's been an 8th generation for 2 years now. And their battery product, the SunVault, is gone. Now they're selling, I've seen them selling like Tesla Powerwall 2s and 3s. So I'm kind of unsure what SunPower is really doing, where they're adding value in the industry, because they're not really making anything, they're not really doing any R&D, and they're just kind of white labeling other people's products and then selling them with kind of a lie behind it. And so I'm not trying to, tear SunPower down too much. I want them, I want big, strong brands in the industry to have very positive reputations. It's good for the whole industry, but unfortunately SunPower, I don't think they've been going in the right direction for many years now. All right, so Tesla, what do they want? They want to be the least expensive solar. Elon has always said, I want to be the cheapest solution to bring solar to the masses. And so with the Powerwall 3, there's some cool innovations that they've brought to the market. And I will say that even if you don't have Tesla actually install your system, which once again, I don't recommend, you will still have the best deal by going with the Powerwall 3 most likely. So I'm selling a lot of Powerwall 3s right now, and it's because the price point just beats out like an Enphase system or a SolarEdge or Franklin battery system. And so more information on that, check out some of my other videos. I have a whole video on just that. Sunrun. They go around basically scaring you into not wanting to buy the system. They make you feel like, oh, there's going to be all this liability on you, and you're going to have to clean the panels. Your installation company is going to go out of business, and then there'll be no one to call. And so they make it sound like buying the system is not smart at all, and that's really their sales pitch, because they want you to do the PPA. I have videos on PPAs versus financing. I'll post the screenshot right here so you can see, go check that out too. I can't get into too much detail right now, but at the end of the day, that's what Sunrun is doing, is they want you to do a PPA. That's really their goal. All right, SunPower. They want you to believe that they're still making everything, but unfortunately they're not. All right, so with Tesla, I already mentioned this, but they're slowly getting out of the installation business. Sunrun, they're still the largest market share wise. They even acquired Vivint Solar a few years ago, which was the 3rd largest, and so they're still the biggest. Don't think that they're the best priced or the most honest, but they are the biggest. And then SunPower, I hate to say it, but if you just Google SunPower bankruptcy, I'm filming this video on July 10th of 2024. And literally within the last 2 days, there's been even more bad news coming out. So something to be wary about. Okay, so Tesla. I mentioned how they're a manufacturer above and they make the Powerwall 3, and that's really great. Something to know though is that at the end of the day, there's no such thing as a Tesla solar panel. They technically white label it and put their name on it, but it is a Q-Cells 400 watt solar panel, or if there's another wattage, it's a Q-Cells panel basically at the end of the day, which is a good panel. It's just not really one of the best, and you don't have any options. So if you go with Tesla, just know that this is what you're gonna get. With Sunrun, as far as their equipment, because these big corporations have other, they have B2B agreements, pretty much 99% of what they do is going to be with SolarEdge. I've seen them sell some Enphase systems here and there when someone really demands it and they're gonna buy it. But if you're gonna do a PPA, which is pretty much what you're doing if you're going with Sunrun, you're gonna get a SolarEdge system, and they've had a lot of reliability issues. And so what happens in the real world is these people, they get their system, and then the inverter breaks, and then it takes Sunrun, 6 months to get it replaced. Or, sometimes it's Sunrun's fault, sometimes it's SolarEdge being slow to get the warranty claim done for Sunrun. But there's a lot of other moving parts behind the scenes to actually get a brand new inverter or a refurbished one, which is in reality what they give you. I'm not a big fan of using SolarEdge. I don't like to use it, and so that's just a reason why I avoid Sunrun in general. Okay, so over here, SunPower, they literally rebrand everything. I know I've already said this before, but they literally aren't making anything. Okay, with Tesla, the positive here that I do want to say is they've really paved the way in terms of getting solar home batteries to market. Tesla actually has more home batteries installed than every other manufacturer combined. So that's a pretty amazing stat. They've done a lot more for the globe, in terms of actually deploying these batteries. For Sunrun, something I have to really give them credit for was back before banks were really on board with giving out loans for solar, there was no way to really get solar other than paying cash. And way back then it was even more expensive than it is today. And so with Sunrun, I have to give them credit for kind of paving the way to having the first real zero down option. That is, of course, the PPA. When loans became more popular and interest rates kind of, went down, the educated buyers, at least for the most part, said, well, that's a better option for us instead of a PPA. But I do have to give them credit for pushing solar into the hands of the masses for an affordable way, especially at the beginning. And then SunPower, they're the OG, and I want to give them credit again back in the day in the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s, doing more R&D and innovation than any other company, but unfortunately now they're kind of a shell of the company that they once were. Okay, so with that being said, should you go with any of these companies? To be honest with you, I don't love the big brand options for solar. There's a lot of issues with all of them, and I'm really picky about kind of what I like to sell, how I like to set people up with the right things, and a lot of these companies limit the salespeople to really be able to freely do that. So I actually have over 15 contractor connections all around the country, and I service over 30 states. And so if you need help going solar, and maybe you're not super happy with what you're seeing and you're getting quotes from Sunrun or Tesla, give me a call and I can hopefully give you a more in-depth consultation, or one of my area experts. I have about 15 guys around the country that are all experts in their own regions. And so give me a call and we can help you out, and it will not be a waste of your time. 760-473-5878, or check the info below. My email is right there. Call or text me. And if you want to just skip all that and just fill out the form so I have all of your information, we'll give you a call back and then get the process started and get a proposal and consultation for you. Thank you so much, and I hope you found this video helpful.